So OBS apparently got VST support. So I am going to try that out and see how that works. Oh, I can literally just use that again. That didn't work too well. So I just want to make a new thingy. Because I haven't really done Tumblr bots in a while and I'm kind of bored. So, yeah, all I really need is a console project. Let's name it something nice like Botfly. I thought, oh, I'm doing C++, aren't I? I want C#. I want I mean, I could do UI, but that'd be kind of overkill. So I'm just gonna do a console application. And I'll just make this a little bigger. So yeah, the main things that I want this to do are to basically have a little database and shit and be able to do what Horse Ebix did, kind of, except with different Tumblr users, which is something I've kind of done before, but I'm just bored and I have nothing to do, so I'm going to try doing that anyway. So my subject that I'm going to be doing today is slimetony.tumblr.com, and I have already reserved resonantspot.tumblr.com. So this is our automated Slimetony, so we're going to be emulating Slimetony a bit. And I'm going to be showing how to use the Tumblr API as well as the updated Tumblr C# library that I am maintaining. So let's get started with that. And let me think about how I want to do this first. So we want to have the main app running here, so that makes sense, right? But we're going to start, let's start by just adding some of our dependencies via NuGet. So, oh, wrong one. Go here, manage NuGet packages, and we're going to browse for Tumblr Sharp, and I want the one by Doomy. I think, oh no, I want new Tumblr Sharp, okay. So Tumblr Sharp Simple, also by me, is a new thing I wrote that allows you to use Tumblr's V1 API, which means that you don't have to authenticate with anything. So it's useful if you want to read stuff, but you can't make posts, so that's what you'd need new Tumblr Sharp for. So new Tumblr Sharp is Tumblr Sharp, except I'm maintaining it and I fixed some issues with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one, and I also want to take a quick look at DoomyBot. So I originally wrote DoomyBot in Ruby, then I rewrote him in Ruby again, and then I finally went to C# because I was tired of running a Linux machine, and I just kind of wanted to run it on Windows, so you can actually see this is DoomyBot right here, just running in a console window. So I want to figure out, because I forget, an easy way to do object relational mapping stuff for the database, because I really don't feel like touching raw SQL. So I'm just going to go ahead and open, I think it's called Tumblr, no, it's not Tumblr Sharp. It may be just in projects in DoomyBot perhaps. And yes, I do want to save. And I'm going to take this off screen really quick. Okay, I think I should be good. Here, let me check it really quick. Because I do have some keys hard-coded in here, which I probably shouldn't have. Okay, so no, this is not correct. This is a GUI version I tried to make before. Maybe Tumbot Sharp? That might be it. I think this is it. Let me check this really quick. Yeah, so that does have some sensitive info in there. I'm just going to delete it real quick. Okay. So here's our main class, and this is where my sensitive information would be. But we don't have that right now because I took it out for streaming purposes. Otherwise, you'd be able to access basically all of my Tumblr account, which wouldn't be very good. And oh, hold on, let me just add something to my stream thingy because I forgot to do something real quick. Hello, Hephaestus. I think that's how you pronounce that, right? Oops. Oh, I fucked up. Hold on. I'm just getting something fixed. Embed chat and stream, that's what I want. Okay. And I'm just gonna add that in OBS real quick. Sorry for that. That should be good. Okay, I want to get rid of message background to paste it. Oh wait, whoopsies. I did something wrong, didn't I? Theme default compact. Default. Oh wait, no, that works. Okay. And hide message after 50 seconds. That makes sense. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and start doing this. So, okay, so let's see what packages I used for this. Entity framework, SQLite PCL. Okay, so that's just using SQLite, which is the database. And yeah, I think this is what I want, is I want SQLite for link. So instead of writing raw SQL requests, I can just make a new connection and do some fancy stuff. So I'm going to keep this over on my other screen just for reference, and I'm going to reopen up my other project. Visual Studio takes a long time. I need to get some water too. I'm thirsty. So that's getting prepared. And okay, good. So how do we want to start this? So anyway, we're making automated slime Tony, basically. So I guess we can start by, so I think this application needs like two kind of important things. So one of them is actually getting his posts and storing them so we can mess with them later. And the other one is actually posting it to Resonance Spot. So let's go ahead and do some stuff. So first of all, I'm going to create a new file. I'm just going to call this tumblr.cs, and hopefully it does not have a naming conflict because I'm being silly. And we're going to go ahead and make this static. We're going to fill those in later. I do need to figure out how to kind of set like environment variables as you would in Unix, because just hard coding these is really not a good idea, especially when I'm streaming, but I will need to eventually do that. So basically what I want to do is we have those constant strings, and I also have some timing stuff. And then I want to do a static tumbler. So this is our static initializer. So in our static initializer, what we want to do is, we also want to make a variable accessible. So we want a static Tumblr.client. I need to be using something. Using don't panic .tumblr sharp .client. So we want to be using Tumblr client. I think that might actually be it. Hold on. Let me read through this really quick. I'm gonna move this over here. And okay, so I have a Tumblr file in here as well. So I also have a couple other settings here. We have a public static string blog, since one account can have multiple blogs. And let's make that a property of the Tumblr class. And the thing that we actually need here, our Tumblr client. So this is what we're going to interact with in order to get stuff from the API. And our static Tumblr will be used as our setup. So what we want to do here is set our Tumblr client equal to a new Tumblr client factory, and I believe I'll need that. And then we'll create a new Tumblr client object with our consumer key, our consumer secret, and I'm just going to copy and paste this because this is silly, stupid stuff. Actually, I don't really understand how this works. This is just copy pasted from the old Tumblr sharp. Oops. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're just taking all of these 4 authenticated thingies and making a new client from our Tumblr client factory. So that'll allow us to use the authenticated API. And we need to do something here. So let's set our blog, we need to set our blog to something. So by default, we're just gonna make it Slimetony. So we also want to add a way to change that. So hold on, let me move this outside of our static initializer and do public static void setup, and also have the ability to put a string blog in there. So if we wanted to add something else but Slimetony, we could do that. I did actually I didn't make a Discord bot. I made a Twitch bot, and that wasn't too bad. I haven't looked into Discord bots, but they seem like they'd be fairly similar to doing other stuff, so that is something that I would want to try to figure out at some point. But I haven't yet delved into it. But it does seem kind of fun, especially since Aetherbot never seems to work for me. But anyway, I should like have a Discord integration that's just like these posts from SlimeTonyBot into like text to speech and just saying it mindlessly in a voice channel. That would be pretty good. Maybe I'll do that. But anyway, so we have our client, and oh, you know what? The blog is actually not necessary on initial setup. Yeah, I know, right? I kind of want to do that now. I'll look into that after I get this set up. Okay, so our blog is just default Slimetony, but we can change it. That doesn't matter, it's a property. Okay, so this is set up, and I am going to look something up because I don't know how to do this properly. So I'm going to pull up Handy Dandy Chrome. So what is I still don't understand Sans vendor. Hold on. Or no, isn't there? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think that typed in wrong. I just don't understand that blog. It's weird, but great. So yeah, like I want to avoid doing this. I want to avoid just hard coding in these things, but I think I might have to. So what we're gonna do, just to save time, I'm gonna make a new class. Yeah, that's what I assume, or it's just some guy being real weird. I also enjoy what is it, Real Dr. Phil or something like that? That one's pretty good. Anyway, so I'm just gonna make a class called keys.c keys I'll make it semi-professional. So keys, and we're going to make this static as well, public static. And so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to take this off screen and I'm going to copy these things and I'm just going to paste the important stuff in, and then I'm never going to open that file again, and hopefully you won't all get access to my Tumblr, because that would be bad. That'd be very bad. I mean, I could always revoke the keys, but then I have to redo everything with DoomyBot, and that'd be annoying as fuck. Okay. So that's saved. I'm gonna X that out. And I'm gonna take this off screen for a second. Oops. I also might go get a cup of water because I am thirsty as fuck. And we're going to do real quick, I'm gonna get rid of this. And yeah, sorry for doing this off screen, just need to do this real quick. Keys dot. So we're using botfly.keys. Fuck. Did I not make that public? I didn't make that public, did I? Fuck. Don't look. Public const, okay, oops. Okay, that should do it. Keys dot consumer key, keys dot consumer secret, keys dot OAuth token, and keys dot OAuth token secret. And as long as I don't hover over those, they should be fine. Let me figure out how to do sections. I totally forgot how to do that. Region. Okay. So, okay. I think I've successfully done this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn our display capture back on. So we have just a little block here called sensitive, just to make sure I don't accidentally hover over anything. So I actually went to sleep at like super late the other night, and then I fell asleep right after I went to class today. And I woke up at like 9, so like 9 p.m. So my sleep schedule is probably fucked up. But I am sure my beautiful lullaby voice will put everyone to sleep very soon. It's like I'm talking to a baby, or I'm on NPR. Yeah, but I'm surprisingly not tired. I'm just really thirsty. I just need some fucking water. I drank a whole thing of cranberry juice. I don't think that helped very much. And I want to go get water, except my roommates are asleep, and I don't have pants on right now. I really should put on some pants before I go out of my room, but that just seems like so much effort. And I also don't have bottled water, and I don't know if I can trust the sink water. But I'm gonna try anyway. You know what? I'm going to be back in like 2 minutes after I put on some pants. And I'm gonna get some water. And when I come back, let me find some pants. Pants. Where are my pants? I don't know where my pants are. They're somewhere. There are my pants. There we go. Okay. Alright, I got water. And it tastes really slimy, but I guess we'll be okay. So we have our client, and what we want to do now is excuse me. Yeah, it is slime Tony water. I guess it makes sense. Slimy water. Let's create a new class called... So this will be our database class. And I'm gonna make this public static again because I love making bad things. I was just sleeping on my bed. He's so cute. Excuse me. Let me grab something real quick. This is the best idea I've ever had. We're just gonna have a little nano looking over our code. Alright, so we have our database, and this is gonna be the hardest part for me because I am fucking shit at doing stuff with SQL, but I'm gonna try anyway. So we need SQLite. So this is, I think, something we need at some point. Or is it this one? I don't fucking know. Nano's too sleepy. Oh my god, you should see him sleeping. He's on his back, and his feet are like right in the air. What if do I have to use SQLite? Can I use something else? I hate SQL. It's good for websites, but like yeah, he looks pretty comfy. I mean, I could do JSON. I don't know if that'd be the best idea. Let me think about it. I mean, I probably once that got up in size, it wouldn't be too happy. A what decide? Spin website? I haven't heard. What is that? Oh yeah, that's. Oh wait, no, that's not it. There we go. Oh, that's a good idea. Damn, I can go for some Japanese food right now. That'd be nice. So let's see, we want SQLite or JSON. What else can we do? Local DB? What the fuck is a local DB? No, that's cool. I appreciate the interaction. Okay, I definitely don't want to use XML, because XML would be fucking terrible. The thing is, I don't know... Like, I wouldn't think JSON would be as robust of a choice as SQLite, but at the same time, I don't know if I need something... SQLite might even be overkill. So... Let me pull up a resource really quick off screen so I don't leak anything important. Come on. Fuck. I'm trying to think, so... I'm trying to think what we need to store. So we definitely need to store the post, right? Like the post body. I don't really care about images. Is there really anything else we need to emulate someone? I don't think so. So we might actually be able to just use a fucking text file. Now that I think about it, because in that way we wouldn't even need to parse anything. I mean, it's definitely not as robust as like SQLite, but I'm trying to think. If we're just doing a simple Markov chain, which is what I'm thinking of doing, then I don't think we need anything else. Do I have to choose a profile pic from the script? Yeah, I could do everything really from the website. So this is just accessing it for me programmatically, but I could still treat it just like a normal account if I wanted to. Like, I could do that for DoomyBot, except I'm too lazy, and I feel like he's got a pretty good icon. So I think I might just go with the text file, honestly, because I really don't feel like dealing with SQL at 4 a.m. So, oh god, now I have to remember how to do file I/O. I'm so bad at programming. So let's pull back up our automated slime Tony, and so we don't, I'm making this a little too corporate, complicated. I think we could make this pretty short and sweet. And let's just go to our program. And in our program, we are going to have an async static. Can I do that? I haven't written C# in a while. Async static void Oh wait, hold on. I fucked up. Okay, so we need the posts. We need the post body. And we also need the last post ID. So the thing that we need to figure out is like every time Randy makes a post, we don't get like any sort of notification for it. Like that's just not something that Tumblr really provides for us. So what we have to do is we have to check every like hour or so if a new post came up, right? So that means that if we check in an hour and we check for like 20 posts and he doesn't make 20 new posts since the last time he checked, I could have duplicates. So what I need to do is when I get posts, I need to find the last time posted or last ID of that post. Excuse me. And also save that to a file. So that'll be easy. I'll just make a separate file for that. Let me just remind myself how to do file IO. So maybe I should get that database thing. Yeah, let's make a new one. It's not really a database per se, but we'll also make this static, public static class database, and it's going to have two static things. But I'll save that for a second. So we're gonna have public database or static database. Fuck off. Fine. Oops, what happened? So we'll have a static database. So this is our this is our initializer, our static initializer. And what we're going to do is we're going to open or create two new files. Oops. Fuck. Hold on. I'll get this in a second. So we're going to create two new files. So we want if file dot, oops, probably need to add system.io, exists. Now this is going to be a local path. So I don't think we need to put anything but the file name. So for this one, we're going to have last post date.txt. Oops. And, oh, yeah, if that doesn't exist, then we want to create that file, create last post date.txt. And let's go ahead and also put these in constants. That might be verbose, but I don't mind verbose as much. Okay. So we're not repeating ourselves there, and we also always know what the file name is if we need to access it somewhere else, but hopefully we shouldn't because that would be bad design on my part. And we also want strong, public conscious strong. We want text.txt. We're just gonna go from super verbose to fucking not making any sense at all. So text.txt is going to store all of the Slime Tony posts. And I have something in my teeth and it's bothering the fuck out of me. Okay. So we'll get those two created on initialization if, and we want to make sure they don't exist, because otherwise we'll overwrite them. So I put the little exclamation point. So we're going to modify this later, but for now, should we do this in program or should we create a new class for it? I think we can do it in program. Okay. Oh, and I also want to do one more thing in database. So, also once they're created, we want to actually get a public date time of, yeah, I do have this. So there's an interesting story around this. So, okay, hold on. So usually I actually, hold on. I'll switch over. So if I go to my scene 1, you can actually see that I have it on the left here. So this is my preferred thing. I prefer it to be on the left. But since Windows syncs everything, I went on my laptop, or my Windows tablet, because I'm a weird fuck who owns a Windows tablet for whatever reason. And I changed the bar to the top because, that makes more sense. You have more room on a tablet when you're holding it in portrait if you put it on the top, and that's why I did that. But it just tends to sync across everything, and so it synced on my desktop even though I liked it on the left. And the problem with that is if you look down here, I don't have activated Windows, so I can't really change the location of this because I need to activate Windows. So to change this, I need to go on my tablet, which I do own Windows for, and change it back to the right position. But, it's not too bad on the top. Yeah, it's complicated. That was a story. Okay, so we have these two things, and we also want a date time. Last post. And we'll make that a property and set that to a new date time of, can I set a Unix epoch? January 1st, 0001. Is that 2001? Oh no, that's, yeah, you can put them wherever. It's nice. I prefer it a lot more on the side on desktops. Let me look up. I really wish. I guess it makes sense since it's Windows, but I like working with the Unix epoch, which, if you're not familiar, is how many seconds have passed since January 1st, 1970. And I forget why it's that date exactly. But it is more useful to me because the date's just an integer. Or a long, I don't know. And it just kind of makes things more legible for me, at least. So I think what we could do here is just do int year 1970, month 1, day 1. So that's January 1st, 1970. And cannot declare instance members in, oh, whoops. So that's our last post time. And that's going to default to as far back, literally 0 if we're talking about in the Tumblr API, because it uses epoch time. And we will reset that, so if the file does actually exist, we're going to read it. So if file exists, text file name, we're going to create it. But if it doesn't, oh, I don't know why I deleted that. So else, if we've already ran this program before, then we want to actually read the file and parse the date time and then put it in last post. So let me read up how to do that again. All right, system.io file, read all text. I guess that would work. And we're gonna need, oops, some brackets here. So string, date, system.io file, read all text. And we just want the last post date file name. We're actually putting this in the wrong spot here. So let's move this up here and put our comment there. And maybe this will work. I don't actually know. But anyway, we're going to get a string, and then we want to set our last post. Let's make this last post date, actually. That makes more sense. Last post date equals new date time. And can we convert this from string? Can we parse a string? Hold on. Okay, so I want convert to date time, and we have a string value, and we want to set this to date, which is our string that we got previously. And if I were to do this in any sort of sane way, I would add some sort of error checking here, because if garbage got written to this file, this would just crash the program. But I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't care. But anyway, that'll set our last post date. Okay, so that's set up nice. Let's see. Excuse me. So we're gonna check for posts, which means what we're just gonna do is use our Tumblr client. Oops. And we want to, excuse me, get posts async. And we're gonna wait this because we're doing an async operation. So the blog name is going to be Tumblr blog, which is Slimetony by default. Our start index is 0, and we don't actually need to include that. And fuck, hold on. So our post type, we want text posts only. And false, false. Oh, count, I messed up. We want 20 for count. That's the maximum that we can request. And for our post filter, we want text only, so that way it'll strip all tags and everything that we don't want. Okay, so let's just go ahead and test this really quick. And it's not console.log. I'm thinking of fucking JavaScript. What am I wrong? What's wrong with me? Oh, it's console write line. So we want to do console write line, and we also want to change this to var posts. So we want to write line posts dot. Shouldn't that be the result? Hold on. I'm a little confused about that one. So that returns class Tumblr sharp client posts. Don't panic, Tumblr sharp.posts, posts. So console write line posts dot. Why is it saying result? That doesn't make sense. Because we're awaiting. What? Do I have to put that in parentheses? What? I'm confused. What did I do? Oh, that's how await works. I'm like pretty sure that's how await works. Okay, so what is this right now? Yeah, what? Wait, okay, hold on. Oh, okay, I guess that's just how it's set up. It's been a while since I've used this. Because sometimes result is used when you're doing an async method, I believe. So we'll just get the first one, and we'll get the let's do toString. Or no, that probably won't work very well. So where's the actual source URL, logblock key, timestamp toString type URL? So this is gonna actually be a don't panic Tumblr sharp post type text. So we're gonna cast that. So we have access to some more methods. Does not. Oh, what? Yes, it does. You fuck. What are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? Alright, that's weird. Well, it should have a body besides that. Maybe I'm just missing it. Lucky source title, source URL, state, tags, timestamp, type, URL. What? This is throwing me. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and look at my old code. So start, let's see what happens. Tumblr, get host async, Tumblr blog. Let's see if I do that. Fuck. Posts first. Okay, let's just do URL for now. Oh. And this most likely will not work. And let me... Oop. Oh, I forgot to do quite a few things. Yeah. I don't need to weight this though. That's fine if it's blocking. Because it's returning void anyway, so. And we'll just do a read line, so that way the program stays open. Okay, yeah, so we do have a URL, and okay, so that works. The problem is I don't know how to get the stupid text, because I can't figure out. It should be like body or something, but don't return, and then we want post type, right? That would make sense. Post type text. Or is that because that's an enumeration? Okay, maybe that's because it's in the enum. Tumblr sharp dot client maybe? That's where I think that's it. Text posts at first dot. Am I doing that wrong? Am I upsetting very many people? There we go. Okay. So we need to cast it to a text post first, and this is very ugly, and probably I can do this better than that. Okay, so great. We got his post in here. So one thing that is kind of annoying about the Tumblr API is you can't really just get the original comment here. So you have to do some funky stuff to check if it is an original post, which is the only thing that I want. So for instance, excuse me. So here I just want, love is a lot like being a bird that flew inside Costco and can't get out, right? And I don't really want the one that says you get killed by a giant industrial sized ceiling fan, because he didn't post that himself and it'd just be a duplicate if we got it again. No, I mean, this actually might be kind of nice, but I'm gonna ignore him self-reblogging for now. Let's see here. So I am going to need to do something off screen again really quick, because I need to do Tumblr's API console. And for that, I need to put in some sensitive data. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my settings, go to my apps. And I'm just going to copy my consumer key, my consumer secret, and put it into the API console so it can do stuff. And we'll all be happy. Yes, it is okay. And we're going to find out what it looks like when we get posts. So blog name, slimetony.tumblr.com. We want text only. And let's find our example output. Okay. So this is an example API request. I'll zoom in there a little bit. So we have our response and our post. So our Tumblr Sharp client is actually parsing this JSON for us already. But what we want to figure out is reblog tree. Now reblog tree is weird and I don't understand it and it's stupid and hold on. Does this work? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. So there's trail and then oh, I got skakooped. Hold on. You heard that, boys and girls? Hole up, my bros. How the fuck does Discord work? Discord. Alright, so back to this. We need to figure out how to get only original posts. So let's find one that has that giant industrial fan thing. And I believe, so this is summary. Oh, hold on, can I? Oh, okay, so this is trail. So maybe I can actually do trail. Oh, I can do trail. Look at that. That changes everything. Okay. So let's see if this is actually updated to use this, because I think trail is relatively new, but Tumblr, being Tumblr, they don't version their API properly. So they just do stupid shit. No. So that is something that I will have to implement in the future. But right now, that is not working correctly. So I will have to improvise. Fuck. Can I use summary even? I might have to update this. Reblogged from name. Ooh, hold on. Maybe that's what this is. Reblogged from name. Oh, I got it. I think I got it. Hold on. So I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna make var post equal to this, just so we don't have to write this every time. So we're gonna write line post dot reblogged from name, and we're also going to do, we're just gonna write a bunch of stuff out just so I could debug this. We're going to do reblogged from name, and we're going to do reblogged root name. And we are also going, yeah, so that's what I want to do right now. Okay, and they are both blank. Wonderful. What? Why is that an enumeration? What? Or not an enumeration, what am I talking about? A list. Ooh, uh-oh. Let's get rid of that real quick. And see if that does anything. Because it might just, yeah, it's just null. Okay. Wow, there are a lot of things to fix in this. Fuck. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Let's do post. Reblogged root title, source title, source URL. It's just, oh, whoops. Let's see what kind of data this gives me. Okay, that's the same thing as URL. I don't know why that's there. Fuck. Reblogged root type, so that's null. URL of the original post being reblogged. Okay, so hold on. So let's go to Slime Tony's website again. And first post on here, it is reblogged. So that should not be null. But then again, Tumblr's API changes all the time, so it probably broke this. Reblogged from ID, notes count like just mobile, bookmark at type, format. Okay, so let's look at body. And we might have to do this in a very stupid way. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little confused on how to do this. I might actually have to fucking fix the fucking... Okay, what's the number of posts in response? 0. What does that mean? Number of posts in response. The number of posts in the response can be used for pagination. What? Is it this? Is this also a thing? No. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Blocked from ID. So I don't think the reblogged from works at all. Blocked from ID is 0. Okay. Because that's an integer or whatever. And those are never null. Yeah, that's just... Fuck. God damn it. I'm so hydrated right now. Okay, so the problem is that the Tumblr package that I currently have does not handle this correctly, right? And it doesn't even get this. If I could do this even, I could probably parse that out. But what I want to do is, so here's basically what I want, okay? So I want to check, I want to loop through all items in the trail, which I believe they updated, so it actually makes some sense now. And I want to loop through all items in the trail. I want to check if it is the, not if it is the root item, if the name matches the blog name that I'm searching. And then if it is, then I want to get the content, and I'd also strip out these tags, because that would always be from Slime Tony, and even if he reblogged it himself, then I can get the content from that. So the only problem with that is that you can get duplicates when they reblog themselves, but that's something you can worry about later. That seems like the cleanest way to do it. But unfortunately, oops, I didn't mean to say that. Unfortunately, that means that I have some problems with the actual Tumblr NuGet package, which is unfortunate. But I'm gonna take a look at it. If it can't be resolved like reasonably, because I'm actually kind of getting a little tired, I might just save this for another day. So I think it's this one. So this is the actual library. So let's take a look at a base post. So reblogged root URL. So let's take a look at what these are. So in our base post, all of those reblogged from stuff, right? So reblogged from ID, like we were getting null for all of those. So let's take another look at our API and see, so it's actually searching for this actual string inside of our JSON. So yeah, so that's supposed to be in every post, and it is currently in no posting at all. So all of this is broken, all of the reblogged from is broken, and it needs to be replaced with this newer trail that they've added to the API. Yeah, and that needs a whole other deserialization thing. And I will update that at some point, but I'm not feeling it right now. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to add an issue and update my repository for Tumblr Sharp. So that's something that needs to be implemented. But as of now, I think I am going to leave it to that and maybe resolve that on another day. Maybe I'll just start playing Battlefield or some shit. Or I might just go to bed. Or I might get more water. I don't know. It's just, you never know. So I'm just gonna go ahead and edit my GitHub real quick. So we need better documentation and okay. Let's commit those changes and open up an issue so I can remember to do this. So that's something I will publish on NuGet, and that'll be nice because that is not currently implemented. Let's check their Ruby. Yes, the last time they updated their Ruby client was, 4 months ago actually. Well, they changed 4 months ago. Just their README. So the actual code they haven't updated in 2 years. So let's take a look at their post. Edit reblog photo, quote. I think they do they do theirs in a stupid way that I very much disagree with. I might actually write my own Ruby client at some point, because the way they do this is they don't actually deserialize the returned object. So like you can see in Tumblr Sharp, it's actually quite nice in a way to use this, because once you get a post, you have all of these properties available to you. You can do post, and then you see how you can get your state, your tags, your timestamp, your title. It's all deserialized for you. But in Ruby, it literally it takes the JSON, like it takes this raw JSON basically, and then serializes it, or it doesn't serialize it. It hashes it. It makes it into a Ruby hash, which is basically the equivalent. I'm using equivalent very loosely here, of JSON for JavaScript. So you'd get this ridiculous amount of information in a very difficult to humanly kind of read manner. The positive side about that is if I were to use the Ruby client right now, I would be able to access this trail here because it doesn't really need any sort of specific deserialization because it's not really doing, it's not applying that to any sort of Ruby object. But I think it would be really nice if you can kind of access post data in the Ruby client through object-oriented programming kind of shit, you know? It'd make a lot more sense to me. But that's just something I'm thinking about. And it would be, I don't know, I've been thinking about doing this. Wait, did I change the README? Or did I change the wiki? I know I changed something. Oh yeah, I helped do this one. So C#. Hey, it links to me. Hey, it's the official Tumblr client, wow. And I was working on one for Crystal. And Crystal, if you haven't read about Crystal, it is a fucking cool language. It's basically, can I just go to Crystal here? No, I wanna, oh, whatever. So Crystal is similar to Ruby, except it uses the LLVM to actually compile code. So you can get like super fast, like actually compiled sort of Ruby, but sort of not, and it's also statically typed, which is very, very nice because I much prefer something I prefer to C# over Ruby is static typing, because it just kind of makes error checking so much easier. I don't really like having to deal with dynamic shit. I mean, it's nice for little things and it makes sense for Ruby, but I definitely do like the direction with Crystal. So this is something I very much encourage people to check out if you are into programming. It is still, I believe, in alpha. Unfortunately, I do not think there is a Windows version yet. No, there is not. In Bash? No, oh, okay. Crystal doesn't support Windows yet, but if you're using it, don't use. Okay, that's actually quite nice. That's not bad. I'll try that out at some point. I would like to check. I know they do have an issue open for Windows. Compiler for Windows. So if we scroll to the bottom of here, when's the last time they checked on this? 2016. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, so they're working on it. WIP Windows. And they're doing alright, it seems. And I assume this is still being actively worked on. That would be awesome, though, if you could write Windows apps in a Ruby-like language. And also even, like, I've been looking at VST development, which is kind of a difficult thing because it's not too terribly well documented. But I've been following some stuff. There is I don't remember exactly where it was, but it is a Rust VST thing, and I don't actually know Rust, but it seems very interesting. Swift is also a very good language that I would recommend trying out. But they just made this XI editor, so this is from Google, and I believe a version of XI is included in Fuchsia. So Fuchsia is Google's new operating system that they're developing, I think, from Little Kernel, so it's not Linux or anything. Is it Unix-like? I don't fucking know. I think it's for embedded hardware. And I think it is also MIT. Or is this is BSD3 clause, I think, which is nice because it's not GPL, or it might be GPL, LGPL or whatever, which isn't as bad. I don't actually know. I could read this whole thing, but I don't feel like it. Yeah, so I think that's BSD3 clause, or it might just be generic, like do what you want, so you don't have to publish changes or anything, which is very nice. That's much more preferable than Google's current one. I mean, Linux is nice, but it seems like I don't really care for their direction with Java. It doesn't make sense to me because they have like a great design language. Material design is awesome, right? They have like a very nice ecosystem set up, but to actually develop an application for Android is just fucking terrible. I know they have Android Studio now, which is kind of their IDE for it. It's like, I don't want to say like Visual Studio because it's nowhere near the kind of quality that Visual Studio is. But it's basically just a wrapper on top of Eclipse, which is a Java-based editor, and it's just kind of miserable to use. It's so slow, it's like, it just doesn't make sense a lot from like a UI point of view. Speaking of UI, it's completely counterintuitive to make any sort of UI in Android. You have to deal with like fragments and activity. It just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me, as opposed to when I've used, now I'm someone who doesn't even own a Mac. I don't own an iPhone, but developing for an iPhone, it makes so much more sense. Xcode is so much easier to use. I know it really doesn't kind of have to be cross-platform where Android Studio kind of does in some ways, but I don't know, I really appreciate it. I think the UI building tools are a lot better. The Swift programming language was such a good idea. That's a great language that I've tried out. Compared to Java, like, I fucking hate Java. It doesn't make any sense. It has terrible support for basically everything. It's just garbage. And it's unfortunate because I've also tried stuff like Xamarin, which is a way to use C# to write cross-platform programs. Specifically, I was looking at it to make Android applications, and it's just, I mean, it's a cool thing, but it's just, it feels like it's more difficult than it's worth, I guess. The only thing that I have found that's interesting is Facebook's React Native, which lets you build Android iOS apps with JavaScript and React. And I don't necessarily care for JavaScript. I think it's kind of a terrible language. But the way they go about doing UI components, I guess, makes a little more sense to me than actually Android. Maybe that's just because I come from more of a web background. But what I hope that Google's going to do, I'm kind of confused so far, and I don't think many people actually know what they're using Fuchsia for. My guess is that they were going to make some sort of home automation stuff for it, but I would be really happily surprised if they were just developing an OS from the ground up to run on Android or replace Android over time. That would be nice. Because I hate writing in Java. I'm never going to write an Android app, even though I want to, even though I'd enjoy that, and I have some ideas, at least, that I could use personally. I'm just not going to get into Java. I've tried it before. It's just miserable. So there's my rant on that. Let me hide this one more time. Sorry about that. Oh, we can still see Nano in the dark. Okay. So trying to think if I have anything else interesting to show anyone. I do. I wonder if Randy made any more posts. No. I do have, oops. I have my website where I've been selling stuff. I do have the program for this, and I might publish it on GitHub. If I don't know how useful it'd be, unfortunately, but I don't know. I had fun with this. It's just a kind of generic thing to sell some of the instruments I've made over the years in Contact. And it has like a full administrative backend and accounts and authentication and email, password resetting, a music player, and ordering and Stripe integration. Stripe being the payment API that I'm using. So it's like actually a pretty good place to start off from. So I might be publishing that. This is built in Rails and Ruby. So it might be useful to somebody. I haven't really worked on much of anything else lately besides just kind of music, which maybe I'll do that. Let's see if I can actually... I'm gonna X out some stuff real quick. I'm going to stop and start the stream really quick just so I can kind of section this off, because this is also streaming to YouTube and it saves for me. So I'll be right back. Oh, Donkey Kong stuff? I was earlier, I was playing some bootleg Game Boy Color ROMs, which unfortunately turned out not to be as fun as I had thought. It is weird. It's just unlicensed Donkey Kong, and it's like some really shit like Mario clone, and it doesn't work well, and it's very not fun to play, and it's just not humorous, which is kind of unfortunate, but it was fun. I'm going to move Nano. You can also see he's on my desktop now, but I'll move. I really do like this. I'm glad I did that. Yeah, no, it was pretty fucking terrible. But yeah, I'm going to start and stop this. Okay. So I am bored and I don't want to go to sleep. So I'm gonna try to get yeah, my 16